the search train is a bad place to be. It's never, if you're trying to get a different feel every day that feels good, it's never going to be there over the long run. It's more about sticking to a plan and knowing, well, if I keep working on that, that's going to make me better.
Hey guys, and welcome to episode 71 of ONEPODLIFE. This week I'm talking to Marco Penge, who has reached the top of the European golf pyramid by now playing in the DP World Tour. He did so by winning the Challenge Tour season-long Order of Merit, but his journey to the top has not been easy. I'm really thankful to Marco as he opens up about the struggles he had on and off the course, with his mental health and the actions he took to become a DP World Tour player. As always guys, I hope you enjoy this episode. If you do, don't forget to share it with your friends, and obviously head over to any app store that you listen to and give me a little review. That'd be fantastic. In the meantime, enjoy this episode. Good evening Marco, and welcome to the podcast. How are you, my friend?
I'm very well, thank you. How are you?
Yeah, good mate. So we finally got there after a bit of to and fro in a couple of months, but it's understandable. You're a busy boy.
It's great to finally get together. It's been trying to get together for probably 2 months. So nice to finally be on it.
Good. Before we start, a few congratulations are in order, I feel, for you. So first of all, congratulations on the wedding to Sophie. Second is the announcement of you're expecting a baby, which is even better.
Yeah.
And the third one is obviously you're now a DP World Tour player, which is even better.
Yeah, no, it's been pretty hectic 6 months. Life's obviously changed quite a lot. So but yeah, it's changed for the good. So I can't complain.
All good, mate. All good. So let's go straight back to the beginning. Where did it all begin, and when did you first get a golf club in your hand?
So I started golf when I was 6 years old. My mum bought my dad a set of clubs for his 40th birthday. And then he shortly after bought me a set, and that's kind of the start, really. So I've been playing for that's 19 years since I started now, but I was always into football before golf. Football has always been my passion, so I played football and golf for about 6-7 years combined, and then one day my dad said you got to make a decision between one or the other, and I chose golf. I don't know if it was the right decision, but we'll find out in the future.
Well, that was going to be one of my questions. I did read that you were obviously well into your football when you was a kid, and obviously you chose golf. But I was just wondering, how close was that decision? How good was you at football at that age?
Yeah, so I think the decision was when I was 13. So I was playing. I was kind of on the verge of playing for England. England under 16s, I think, at the time in golf.
Oh, right.
And I was on trials at Southampton at that point. So, I was probably at a pretty similar stage of each career, to be honest. So, the decision was pretty tough. But I think obviously I was so young at the time, my father kind of made the decision for me in a way. And I wouldn't say it's been a bad decision. So,
no, definitely not.
But I still always think that I'd wonder how I would have done in football. Because I love football. Football is my passion. Obviously, I enjoy playing golf, but I think I look at it more as it's my job, and football's like my real kind of passion in life, really.
Well, I guess it might be a good thing as well. It's a bit of a distraction from all your golf you play, and obviously the pressures that you play in. It's always nice to down tools and do another hobby, which is obviously football for you. So
no, football's if I'm not at golf, I'm watching football or watching one of my best mates play on a Saturday. I watched him yesterday, so if I'm not at golf, it's football really. And but like you said, it's nice to have that something else to kind of follow, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. So when you were 6, you said you started playing golf then. 13, you decided to obviously choose golf as your career because you was on the verge of playing for England, like you said. So at 13, what was your sort of handicap at 13?
Yeah, so I think I got to scratch when I was 13. So that was nice. I was off scratch at 13. So I was playing all the national kind of junior events and all of that sort of stuff. I think I remember playing playing in the Carrish Trophy when I was 13, I think it was. You know, you had the likes of, I remember having a putting comp on the putting green with Matt Fitzpatrick and a friend of mine, Toby Tree, and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool to like kind of go back to then and kind of the experiences that I had and, you know, the players that I played with and where they are now. So, yeah,
that's really good.
That was a story when I was 13.
Well, obviously, 2 years later, when you were 15, you managed to win the highly coveted McGregor Trophy and the under-18 Fairhaven Trophy.
Yeah.
And then you became the first player in history to defend or successfully defend both titles the year after. So obviously that sort of might have been like a bit of a catalyst sort of 2 years for you to really sort of put your stamp down to show how good of a golfer you are.
Yeah, between the age of probably 14 and 17, I was really successful. You know, I was number one in Europe under 18 when I was 15, 16. And, you know, I played for England men's when I was 16. You know, I made that jump up to the men's squad at a very young age. So that kind of part of my career, I feel like taught me a lot when I look back at it now. You know, getting used to being able to be in a position to win tournaments, you know, no matter what the tournaments are. I think just winning in general, kind of, you learn a lot from. So, yeah, that was a massive, you know, what's the word? That was a massive step in my golfing career for me.
Yeah.
So, yeah, winning the Fairhaven twice, McGregor. I won the Scottish Amateur at 16, I think I was at the time.
Yep.
You know, I had so much success in that short period. So, yeah, that was a great time for me.
No, good stuff. And also, like you said, when you were 13, you were on the verge of playing for England. So obviously that I imagine that continued. And sort of, how long was you playing for England for? Obviously at the amateur status.
Yeah, so I played for England for 5 years. You know, I played for Great Britain and Ireland in the Jack Lees Trophy 4 years on the trot. So, you know, between 13 and kind of 18 was kind of my amateur career, you could say. And I felt like I pretty much succeeded everything in that sort of area of golf, I suppose, in the amateur/junior game.
Yeah.
One thing I didn't do was playing the Walker Cup when I was an amateur, and that's probably I feel like probably the only achievement that I haven't kind of got on my record. I was close twice to be, you know, I was in the squad twice for the Walker Cup, but I never made the 10 or 12 man team, whatever it is. So, yeah, I'd say that's the one thing that I didn't really achieve in my amateur career. At the time, I felt like it was a massive thing. And looking back at it, you know, amateur career is great and great for you to learn, but as soon as you step into the pro game, that's all forgotten about.
Yeah, that was be one of my questions. Like I said, like I know you didn't make the full team. Well, obviously, like I mean, as in playing, but I know you were very, very close to it. And one of my questions was going to be, do you feel like it's a regret that you didn't play? It hampered your career going forward, or did you not? Again, like you said, you just didn't see it really as at the time it was quite a big thing, but right now you look back, it's probably not.
I had a bit of a, you know, after I think it was I can't remember what year it was exactly, but it might have been 2015 when I was 17. That was the year of the Walker Cup, and I remember I went to Australia to play for England, and I lost in a playoff in the Australian Amateur, and then come home and lost in a playoff in the Spanish Amateur early on in the year. And I think I was ranked about 51 in the world at the time. So, you know, I started the year great leading into that Walker Cup season, and after that, for probably, you know, a year, I played absolutely terrible, and I could barely break 80. I went through like a massive mental block, anxiety, and everything to do with golf. So, you know, looking back at it, not getting in it probably did a good thing for me, because going through that terrible time for, you know, a year made me learn so much about myself, and you know, I feel like the strengths of my game now, if I didn't have that time, I wouldn't be as strong as what they are now. So, in the mental side of the game. So I don't look back and think, was it good that I didn't get in or blah blah blah. But I felt, I think if you play in a Walker Cup, it's great. Anyone that's played in a Walker Cup, it's a massive achievement, and it's something that all youngsters coming through the game want to be thriving to play. But it's not the be all or end all for me. So yeah, it was kind of a weird year that for me. It just started great, and then all of a sudden I just went off the cliff, and my head was gone for, it took me about 3-4 years to really get out of that state that I was in. And I feel, and it, for me, look, I'm glad it happened because it made me so much stronger now.
Do you have any idea as to what caused that at all?
It was, when I look back at it now, at the time I had a few different people trying to tell me what to do in my swing, blah, blah, blah. Even though I had my one coach who I was with for 12 years. But, anyone that's successful or a young prodigy or is going to be great at something, everyone wants a bit of you. So It was, I was so young at the time, I didn't really know how to deal with all of that stuff. And unfortunately, it got me in the head, and that was the cause. And then I think being so successful for 4 or 5 years leading up to that and never really failing, and then going from that to failure, all of a sudden I was like, well, I don't know what this is, sort of thing, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
And then
that makes sense.
Didn't know how to deal with that. And it took me a good 2-3 years to really know how to deal with failure in a way.
Yep.
And I think every golfer or sportsman is going to have that time in their career where it gets really tough. And I think, the best ones get through it.
Yeah, I was going to say, obviously, you show your resilience and your strengths. Yeah. Obviously, you can get through that and get back to the heights that you were before. So,
yeah, for sure. I think it's. I think every golfer in general, they will have a time in their career for maybe a few years where they just can't. They just feel like they don't know where the game is, or they feel like what's happened. I was playing great, and now I can't even stand on the tee box or whatever. Everyone's going to go through that. So for me, I've been through that now, and not to say that it's not going to happen again, because I'm sure it will. But I feel like I'll know how to deal with that.
No, good stuff. Well, yeah, obviously, you said you come through it now, so we can talk for the future going forward, and hopefully that those demons won't crop up again. But we'll go from there. But so obviously you had your amateur career, like you said, for that sort of 4 or 5 years. So you were sort of 18, 19. So at what point did you either know that you're ready to turn pro, or when was the decision made to turn pro? And was there a real sort of thought process behind it, or did you just go, you know what, I've had enough of this, I just want to play pro golf?
So I actually turned pro at the end of that year that I struggled. I just said to my parents, I need to get out of the amateur game, and I need to get away from everyone. I don't want to, I feel like everyone's judging me from being so successful to like everyone talking about what's going on with Marco. So I went to Q school. No one actually knows this. I went to Q school. I think I was something like 17 over through 13 holes, and I just said to my mum, I can't do this anymore. I need to like get away from this. I need some time away. So I walked off the course and drove home. It's something that I'd never do. I'd never NR. I'm fully against people NRing and giving up, but I was just my head was in a proper mess, and I then kind of not hid away for 5 months, but tried to sort everything out myself for 5 months, because I was seeing different psychologists and stuff like that throughout the year, and none of it was actually helping me. So I just said to my parents, I need to get away for 5 months and just avoid everyone and just try and find this myself and figure it out myself. So I turned pro, and over the winter worked really hard on trying to get out of this sort of mental block. Played a year on the Europro, and I felt like I was making some sort of progress there.
Did you feel like like you said, you did so, you see, you wanted to get away from it all, and you wanted to get the the what people were thinking of you as an amateur
Yeah,
golfer. Did you feel like as soon as you sort of turned pro and you had that 5 months where you could literally just go, okay, that monkey's off my back, I can now
yeah,
focus, reset. This is Marco, the professional golfer, and this is what
yeah,
I'm going to do.
yeah. That was kind of my thought process behind it all. Really, it was like, let's forget this. Let's just start fresh. Let's turn pro, and start fresh. And yeah, that theoretically was what I did really.
Hmm.
Um, that was, and it's weird thinking back to it now. 'Cause it feels like it was last year, but it's so long ago.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like the thoughts of it is so fresh because I talk about it quite a lot because I feel quite proud of myself with how
yeah.
I got through it.
No, I feel like you need to talk about it as well. Otherwise,
Yeah,
if you keep it bottled up, it's not good for anybody. And I think also by talking about it, other people can learn from that as well.
yeah, for sure. I feel, I see it so much in whether it's some of my friends or whether it's other golfers that I've kept an eye on over the last few years or whatever. I see it all the time in great players struggling
Hmm.
and not knowing what to do and not having a clear path. And I was lucky to, I was lucky to play with someone in Portugal at the time who is now my coach and one of my best friends, Gary King. He was a friend at the time and he was watching me play, and he just said to me after, like, I can't see you play like this. Like, this isn't you. Like, you're so talented, and I can just tell you're in a mess. So like, I'm so thankful for him for like putting his arm around me, and we kind of, that was like the start of like the refresh button.
Okay, that's
Um,
good.
and my swing technically went down a bit of in the hole, and obviously my mental state was in a mess. So we kind of just said, look, let's like make a plan here and stick to the plan and kind of rebuild. And in 3-4 years time, you're going to get back to where you want to be. And I can sit here now and say that's kind of what happened. So
Yeah, I think. Well, obviously, someone. I guess now, if a player was to go off, I don't know. Okay, let's look at Ricky Fowler for example.
yeah,
He fell off. We don't know why he fell off,
yeah,
but I imagine it could be something to do with a very similar situation.
yeah,
And it's taken him, like you said, it's taken him 3 or 4 years to get back to
yeah,
any any recognition of the old Ricky. So,
yeah,
but I feel like a lot of people don't realize that it would take that amount of time to actually correct something.
yeah. I think in golf, when you've done it for so long, everything becomes a habit in a way.
Yep.
And when that habit isn't working, then all of a sudden you've got to reverse kind of your old habits into new things and kind of fix them habits. And any habit can take a long time to get over, whether it's
Yep.
in the game of golf or whether it's in life in general. So Ricky obviously overcome that. And last year he had a great season, and old Ricky Fowler's back to his best. So
Yeah.
it happens to everyone, whether it's golfers, sportsmen, anyone in life.
Hmm.
So I feel quite, the me getting through it myself. I feel like I can really help people in general overcome that, if you know what I mean, from my experience.
Definitely. And what year was that you pressed that reset button?
So I think I pressed the reset button in 2018.
Okay.
Yeah, at the end of 2018. Yeah, I mean it's no, sorry, it's the beginning of 2019. I
Okay.
pressed that reset button. I spent a year and a half trying to do it myself, and I managed to get my Challenge Tour card through the Europro.
Yep.
Somehow I was pretty terrible, but my talent got me through.
Yep.
But then when I got my card, it was like, if I don't do something about this again, or really fix this problem rather than being on a bit of a search string,
Hmm.
I'm just going to lose my Challenge Tour card next year. And that's kind of what my coach said to me now. Gary at the time said to me, look, if you don't do something about this, you're gonna lose. You ain't playing good enough to keep your Challenge Tour card,
No.
let alone get off the Challenge Tour. So, start of 2019 was when I pressed that reset button. Really.
Okay. So then, what? 8 months later, you have your first professional win at the Irish Masters on the Europro.
Yeah.
Now, obviously, just talk about what you've just gone through all those
Yeah.
years. You've pressed the reset button. You've now got your first win.
Yeah.
How did that feel?
Yeah. No, that was unbelievable. Because even at that time, I was still struggling so bad mentally. Because, like you said before, it takes it takes time. It could take 3-4 years to really get rid of that scar tissue. And even now, I still have thoughts where I'm like, why are you thinking like that? That's gone. That's years ago.
Yeah.
So I still have a bit of scar tissue now, and I probably will do for the remainder of my career. But yeah, to win on the Europro and get my card through there was a massive step in the right direction for me, and I think that kind of really brought my belief back. And yeah.
Yeah, well, confidence in golf is obviously key. So if you get the confidence building, then all those thoughts, I guess, disappear.
Yeah.
Obviously, they can come back, but if you do the right work like you've been doing, then obviously they stay away. So no, I think that's great. Okay, let's part that one there. I don't want to get into to bring up any more bad thoughts for you. Be the cause of anything that goes forward. But yeah, so no, so yeah, I've just written down here as well that obviously you played in 2 open tournaments now, 2022 and 2023. Now, unfortunately, you missed a cut in both of them. But do you think those experiences have set you up nicely for the next time you get a chance to play in it?
Yeah, the first year I played last year, 2 years ago now, in St Andrews, was like a massive learning experience for me again. I was playing great heading into the tournament. I felt like, a lot of people had high expectations for me playing in a major. And yeah, I actually played pretty well. Just my putting was terrible. But even I didn't feel great mentally. I remember walking off round 1 and saying to my family and my team, like, I'm not good enough mentally yet. I'm still not. Like, I could feel it out there that I'm not. I'm still having little struggles and don't know how to deal with certain situations. So that was a huge learning experience for me. And then last year was, my goal at the start of the event was I want to walk off. No matter how many rounds I play, I want to be able to say at the end of it that I felt great and I actually really enjoyed playing. And I walked off and said that, and I felt amazing. So I made a massive step in the right direction there. And, I think I was second worst in putting for the 2 rounds. But, tee to green, I think I was like in the top 20 for the week, so for the 2 rounds. So, tee to green mentally, where I struggled the year before, I felt like was a massive strength of mine. And that gave me a lot of confidence to leave there, knowing that I feel like I'm good enough to compete with the top guys in the world now. And that clearly showed towards the end of the year. It gave me a lot of confidence, and it was great.
Definitely. I was going to ask you what your was your biggest learnings from those 2 experiences, but you sort of mentioned 1 or 2 there. But if you could give any more learnings, what would you think that would be?
Yeah. So, when I played the second one, I was like, the first year I struggled mentally. So I said to everyone, if I'm gonna play well, it's all down to how I am mentally. If I'm feeling good mentally and can deal with the pressure, then there's no reason why we can't even win the tournament. But if we don't deal with everything on the mental side of the game, then we've got absolutely no chance, as we showed the year before. So I remember putting my name down with like the best players I've possibly put my name down with in the practice rounds to try and get used to, playing with the top players and not standing there thinking that I'm playing with these guys and being starstruck. So, I played with John Rahm and Phil Mickelson on the Wednesday, and that was, I walked off 9 holes with them, and I was like, that was unbelievable because I've actually really enjoyed that, and I felt like I was in the right place. And
Yep.
Phil Mickelson said some nice things about me to one of my friends. Sorry, my coach. So that that has gave me huge confidence. So the massive learning curve really was just the mental side of the game and knowing that I'm good enough to be there.
That's good. Okay. Last year you managed to get your first win on the Challenge Tour at the Open de Portugal. Before that, your best finish was actually second at the Casacada Golf Challenge.
Yeah.
Hope I said that right. Again, obviously going back to when you got your first win on Euro Pro, obviously then getting your first win on the Challenge Tour, another step
Yeah.
up. What sort of, how did you feel about that? And like, was that like another massive milestone in the progress that you were building?
Yeah. Last year was strange because I remember when I missed the cut at the Open. That was a seventh missed cut on the trot, and before that 7 missed cuts, I'd finished fourth in Czech Republic, where I played unbelievable, and I think I lost 20 strokes on the greens in 4 rounds, and I lost by 4 over for the tournament. So I come away from Czech Republic and was like, if I putted well there, I could have won by 10. And then that went straight into like missing 7 cuts on the trot.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, now I need to pull my finger out because I'm going to lose everything here. And then, finished 20th in the Irish European Tour event, not the Irish Open, I can't remember what it's called, up at Galgorm, finished 20th there. And that was kind of the start really of my great run, and went to Sweden the next week and finished 6th on the Challenge Tour. And then, Portugal was 3 weeks further down the line. And I'd made 5 cuts in the bounce and had a few good finishes. And then, when I got to Portugal, I knew I loved the course. I loved the place. I was playing great. I felt confident. I think I won by 4, and it felt pretty easy, if you know what I mean, compared to where I've been in previous to that. So, that just shows you how quick sport or golf in general can change. You can go from thinking, blimmin' hell, like I'd be happy to keep my Challenge Tour card here, to all of a sudden, like I'm just outside the top 20 places. So
yeah.
That, I think that can show to anyone how quickly it can change. And if you go 5 weeks down the line after that, it changed quite a lot. So getting that win was massive. And even I remember I just coming home and I couldn't stop like smiling and talking about it and thinking. I was saying to my wife, like, I'm the champ. I've won on the Challenge Tour. Like, I can, not many people can say that. And I remember always looking up to players, like, there'd be someone like Manacero or anyone that's won on the Challenge Tour, the European Tour, and I'm looking at them thinking, like, they've won on the Challenge Tour, blah blah blah. And all of a sudden I was in that category, and the feel good factor I got from that was just unbelievable. So that was huge for me.
Yeah, and obviously that's like you said, that set you up for a really good sort of finish to 2023. Like I said at the start of it, you're now a DP World Tour player by obviously getting promoted through the Challenge Tour. You obviously won the grand final as well, which was I actually watched all 4 rounds and was like, oh my God, he's actually going to do it. So I was quite excited about it. But no, like you said, so I was just thinking back. Obviously, you said beginning of 2019, you pressed the reset button. What's that? 4 years later, you're now a DP World Tour player. I mean, that's a pretty good turnaround, and obviously for you to look back at that and, like you said earlier, you're proud of yourself that you got through it. I think it's fantastic.
Yeah, no, it's amazing. And the people that have given me the help, I wouldn't have been able to do it without my team, really. In the middle of all of that, I had, there was COVID that we lost a year for, and I had knee surgery, so I was injured for 9 months, and a lot of things went on there, but that just shows you like how much that made me better mentally. And it just shows you how important the mental side of the game is. I'm adamant that it's no matter how much talent or how good you are at the game, if you haven't got it mentally, you, in my opinion, you can't be at the top of this game.
Yeah.
You just can't. And that shows what Tiger Woods did. He was just unbelievable mentally, and that's why he was better than everyone else. It's not just a saying; it's true, in my opinion.
Yeah. No, it's definitely a subject or a part of the game that's really starting to come to the fore now within golf. Obviously, back in the day, it probably was talked about, but not as much as what it is now. And like you said, it's definitely a catalyst of you need to be good at it to be able to achieve in this game now.
Yeah, I think it's if you haven't got it mentally, you can't if you haven't got it at a certain point mentally, you can't be successful for a longevity. It's it's the kind of engine of the car, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, definitely. You played a few tournaments now on the DP World Tour. Obviously, you're about to get head back out again to kickstart the year. But from those experiences, could you, in one word, describe what it's like to play on the DP World Tour?
Yeah. What would the word be? Say the one word is not mesmerizing, because I don't know if that's the right word, but it's just I know what the word is, but I'm trying to think what it is. What's the word? As a feeling, it's like you're almost like dreaming, and when it's your first year, you're just like, wow, like you're not starstruck, because that's not the right word, but I would say grateful. It's you're kind of there, and you're just like, wow, this is what I've always dreamt of. Like, I just, you just absolutely buzzing. When I went to South Africa to start the season, I'm there with obviously the tour players that have been there for years, and then I'm there with, I see the other 19 guys who got there from the Challenge Tour, and like everyone from the Challenge Tour that got promoted, you're all just looking at each other like, can you believe it? Like, this is where we are.
Here. Yeah.
So you're just walking around, and everything's all new to you, and it feels amazing. Everything's so professional, and you feel like special. So grateful or special, probably special would be the word for me.
Okay, I like it.
It's just the dream come true, and when you do get there and have the experience it for your first time, you kind of like, I just want to be here for the rest of my career. So for me, I'll just take it all in and really appreciate what I've done, and not take it for granted. And because I don't know how long I'm going to be on the DP World Tour for, and I don't know how my career is going to go in the future. So I'm just enjoying the ride, really.
Yeah, I can't remember who I spoke to someone about this, or they mentioned that another player got on the DP World Tour and they lost their card after 1 year, and he said his biggest regret was he didn't take the time to enjoy where he was. He was more worried about, I need to keep my card, I need to keep my card, I need to keep my card. And I guess that's what you're kind of saying now is, okay, obviously that's an important factor. You need to keep your card to stay on there, but at the same time, you need to be taking in everything that's going on.
Yeah, no, I said to like all my family before I went out there, this has always been my dream to make it here. It's easy to talk about keep my card and this and that, but I know what I'm capable of myself. My goal isn't to just keep my card. My goal is to excel further than that. So
of course,
when I'm out there, it's more just, let's just enjoy it and have fun, and don't know how long I'm going to be here for. I don't know how long I'm going to be here for. So let's just enjoy it and have fun. And I said to my partner, like, I want you to come out to as many as you can and experience it with me. This is where we've tried to get. So let's all have fun and see what happens at the end of the year.
No, definitely. Well, so far you've given yourself you've accounted yourself very well. Obviously, you've done quite well in one of the tournaments. So I think you're gonna be okay, mate.
I think
when's the next tournament?
I'm playing in the Desert Classic, not next week, week after.
Nice.
So I fly out to Dubai on Wednesday.
With all the big boys.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
good.
So
It's going to be
I'm,
good,
I'm
man.
I'm buzzing to get going. To be fair,
Yeah,
it's been nice to have a bit of time off, but even before Christmas, I was just itching to get back out there and
I
compete.
bet.
So yeah, no, it'd be good fun.
Good stuff. Um, quick couple of questions for you that
Yeah.
hopefully quick to answer. Obviously you played quite a few golf courses in your time. What's your favorite golf course to play and why?
Favorite golf course I've played would probably be Leopard Creek was good down in South Africa. All the nature,
Everyone says
yeah,
that.
the nature, the course condition. It's just something. It's very special. And kind of there's not many other places like that. So Leopard Creek would definitely be up there.
Good stuff. If you could pick one professional swing that you admire and would love to swing like them, who would it be?
One professional swing. Who do I watch swings of? I'm not a golf geek, so I don't watch much golf. But if there was anyone, probably Brooks Koepka would be my man. Really,
Yeah,
he's someone that I've kind of delved into his swing quite a lot. I love his swing, so he'd be the man.
good stuff. I like Brooks as well.
Yeah.
Bit of a random one, but what's your go-to meal after a round of golf?
Oh, go-to meal after a round of golf. If I was in England and I was playing with my mates, I'd want to go to somewhere like Wagamama's. But if I was picking a meal, it'd be probably some sort of pasta dish, pesto
Yeah,
pasta or something like that. Yeah,
has to be with your
yeah,
heritage.
yeah, exactly. Half Italian, it fills you up.
Exactly. Good stuff. And do you have any superstitions that you have either before a round, during a round, or anything in that sort of area?
Yeah, I've got a weird superstition now. It's after when I won in Portugal, uh, I had like a glass of wine with a meal every night.
Okay.
So now I feel like when I'm at a tournament during like Thursday to Sunday, I need to have a glass of red every night. It's become my superstition.
Yep.
So when I was at the grand final, I was ill, I had food poisoning, and I was still like, I need to have my glass of red because like I won last time doing that,
Yeah,
so I
yeah.
need to do that. So yeah, it's not a healthy one, but I can't complain.
Love it. And I'm quite a good a nice glass of red. What's your go-to?
Well, if at home, I like the chocolate block. That's my favourite bottle of wine. But a Rioja or something like that is, yeah, Rioja or Malbec or something like that.
No, I'm well into my Melbecs. It's the only one I drink.
Yeah, yeah, it's lovely.
No, good
So
stuff.
yeah,
Okay. I think I might start trying that for a round of golf to have a glass of red wine before I play. See what happens.
yeah, yeah,
Why are you drinking that tonight? Well, Marco said I had to, so
yeah, yeah. No, it's work.
I
So it's my
love it.
super.
Okay, great. Cheers, Marco. So I think that's a great sort of introduction to people obviously know who you are anyway, but just a bit of
Yeah,
a dive deeper into where you've been and where you're going to. So thank you very
yeah,
much for that. But what I want to get to now is again, people listen to podcasts regularly know that I started the podcast, so I want to try and get down to a level where I can hopefully play pro golf and developmental
yeah,
tour level. And yes, I started the podcast just to talk to you guys to gain
yeah,
knowledge and just hear your stories. But if you could pick three things that you think any aspiring golfer should be doing to get to any level of golf, of professional
yeah,
golf, what would they be? And obviously, can give us a deep explanation into why you think. I think I know which what one of them will be is obviously the mental side of things, but
yeah,
let's still talk about that. And if you could pick
yeah.
another two, that would be great.
I think obviously mental side of the game is huge. This covers a lot of areas. It's not just even course management and things like that. It's kind of part of the mental side of the game. So for me, preparation is massive if you're playing a tournament round of golf or whether it's going out in your Sunday roll up or whatever it is. Preparation's massive. I'd class that into the mental side of things. Having the correct warm up, knowing what's going to make you kind of click for the day, whether that's certain drills in your warm up or whether that's, just having a routine really. That'd be definitely one. I mean, the physical aspect of the game the gym side of things, being flexible, being stable, mobile, strong. That's at the end of the day, the guys that hit it miles, their body moves in a way that not many other players can move their body. So, that's all to do with being mobile enough to do that. So,
yep.
I think for any golfer in general, whether you're up to 20, 10, scratch or a pro golfer, the gym side of things is something that people forget about. And it's not about lifting weights and blah, blah, blah. It's more about being able to get into the positions that your coach might want to get you into with your swing. Everyone's trying to work on certain things and struggles with it. Like, is your body allowing you to be able to do that? For me, there's some things I'm working on in my swing at the minute and been working on it for a long time. And I'm like, maybe my body just isn't good enough to be in those areas to be able to do that, under serious amount of speed. So I'm really working hard in certain areas of my body to be able to get into the positions that I want to get into. And then number 3, I think understanding why you hit a certain shot and understanding how to fix that, if you know what I mean.
Yep.
A lot of people might be working on something in their swing, but they don't actually understand why they're working on their swing or what's that actually going to change. People work at the top of their backswing so it looks good, but is that necessarily making you a better player? So I think understanding when you're at a bad shot, you need to know, I've just done that there, I've dropped it underneath a bit, blah, blah, blah. And then when you might get into your next shot and you might do a rehearsal of what you want to do. So you're kind of always on the right page rather than kind of veering off being, well, was it that? Was it this? Was it that? So I think what I've learned is, the search train is a bad place to be. It's never, if you're trying to get a different feel every day that feels good, it's never going to be there over the long run. It's more about sticking to a plan and knowing, well, if I keep working on that, that's going to make me better. So that would be my advice, really.
No, I like it. I love the field train.
Yeah.
Don't get on the field train. I like it.
Yeah, it's not a great place to be. I've been there myself. I think a lot of golfers can relate.
Oh, sorry. The search train.
Search train.
Yeah, search train. Yeah.
I think a lot of people can relate to that. So
definitely.
Yeah, that would be my advice.
Fantastic, Marco. Thank you very much for coming on and telling us about yourself. And congratulations on the success so far.
Thank you very much.
Looking forward to watching you out there at DP World Tour this year. And like I said, no doubt I'll be watching you a lot, quite a few years on there. So it'd be good.
Yeah. No, thank you very much. Hopefully we can do this again, maybe at the end of the year, and kind of talk about how the year went. Hopefully.
Cool. I'll mark this one as Marco Penge Part 1 then.
That's it.
I like it. Fantastic. Cheers, Marco, and have a good rest of the week.
Thank you very much, and you too.
Cheers, pal.
Take care. Thank you. Bye.